Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing to my videos on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at the Sita One. You can find Sita's weekly tarot readings on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at the Sita One, along with the daily posts of the tarot cards on Instagram. This reading of the astrological forecast is from October 16th to the 22nd. Now, earlier in the summer, in June, I think, I mentioned that the fall was going to be a pretty intense time. So we're in the midst of it right now. Even though some planets have gone direct, and we're going to see Saturn turn direct this week, we still have some hard aspects, with some aspects that look really positive, but may be a little bit deceiving. So we start out with Sunday. And on Sunday, we're looking at Mars trining the Saturn in Libra, and we're also looking at Mars trining. So this is creating what they call a grand trine, and it's all in air. So intellectual, logic, ideas, the mental activity is stimulated here. But there could be, the plans could be too grandiose, too idealistic, too much logic, and not enough of the other aspects or the other qualities of intuition and feelings and compassion. So we have to be careful with that. So at least on that level, perhaps on a global scale, things are moving in a positive direction where people are coming up with great ideas and they're supporting each other. It's in nice, harmonious movement. However, now the other thing is on Monday, we have what's called the square of the moon. So the full moon happened last week, and now whatever it triggered is going to come up to sort of nudge you in a certain direction. So pay attention to what happens during the day. Also, by 5 p.m. Eastern Time, the moon will go what's called void of course. So I always find these times when the moon is void of course, it's not really inhabiting any sign. It's always a good time for me to get results, to start something. I guess the planetary energies are not so intense during these void of course moons. That's my interpretation. So you might want to think about what you need to do on that Monday night, and then maybe try to accomplish the task and see what happens. It does come out of its void of course by midnight the next day, so just keep that in mind. And then it moves into Leo, which is very heartfelt and a dramatic placement for the moon. Now, Mars is also squaring Neptune, so this is where I think deception lies, because Mars is the physical, Neptune spiritual, more idealistic. And you need to work with this energy, and working with this energy through doing something physical and spiritual at the same time. So this could be any type of movement. This could be really immersing yourself physically, maybe going for a walk and listening to an inspirational podcast or some inspirational music. Get moving in a direction which takes you to expand your awareness, and you'll be able to work with this energy. Some people suggest dancing. I always say that's a good idea. If you're finding that the energy is lagging, or you're feeling angry about something, or you can't move through some emotions, putting on some music and dancing around, doesn't matter, alone in your place, get some movement in, and it usually helps you, along with the vibration of the notes in the music and your energy. It gets things moving, and you'll feel much more positive after. So try that, and it does dissolve things. So that's what you're working on. Now, the sun is going to square Pluto by Wednesday, so this is where secrets and hidden emotions may surface, and it's something for you to deal with. You can't avoid it. It's a square, that means action, so you might be putting your attention or reacting to something that someone says. So think about what's hidden that's coming to the surface and try to work with it in a really positive way. Venus is also going to stick square Pluto. So we're having this series of squares to Pluto. It's already happened before because Mercury was going retrograde and then back. It's in the forward movement right now, so it's coming up too. So Pluto is the hidden stuff, and Pluto doesn't stop till it gets to where it needs to go to bring out whatever that is that's blocking us and transforming it permanently. So we're seeing different personal planets move through these aspects to Pluto. So it's something to keep in mind. It's about personal relationships, it's about relationship with yourself, and whatever you've been stuffing down, it's going to come to the surface. With Mars there, that could indicate anger, and maybe anger at the self, because Mars is in an intellectual sign, Gemini. It's also slowing down to do a retrograde. So Mars is in this Gemini for a long time, 7 months. Then Venus will conjunct the Sun. Now this is always a nice energy. It's called the Cazimi. Beautiful thing. Venus is love and nature and values. But remember, Venus is about compassion. Venus is the self-sacrifice that you make in order that someone will be happy. So think about that. That comes by Saturday. Mercury's going to trine Saturn, which brings out another level of communication that will be happening. And the ongoing Saturn-Uranus square is still there now. Saturn starts to move direct, so it's not as intense, but it's there. And so what you have is the sense of responsibility, wanting to do things a certain way. Uranus and Taurus wants its comforts, but in a revolutionary way, out of the box thinking. And so Saturn and Uranus are in the square. It's really challenging to think about money, economics, all those things, and creating more equality. So not only a certain percentage has the money or the profits may be extremely excessive, reining everyone in and saying, okay, this is what you need. You don't need the excessive money. Some people sitting on excessive amounts of money, and then others are doing without. So more equality. And it's a very long transit. It's been going on for a long time. And so you can see the governments are trying to do this, trying to ease the burden of people who don't have as much, but also reining in corporations or other people who are taking advantage of economic situations and not sharing. And that's what it's all about. It's about that community sense, our obligation to others, self-sacrifice, and service. So you might see some forced confrontations around this. We've already seen this before, and trying to get things more into fairness. It's not exactly balance, but fairness. So everybody has a chance to get the gold in the pot. So this is what's working out in the collective right now, and you see it with governments trying to bring in different rules and regulations and take care of others. So start to think about that. The Pluto and Mercury will be squaring each other on the 27th next week. But what's the big news? The eclipse, and it's going to be pretty intense. Stay tuned, because I'll talk about that in my next video. And the eclipse is not something that happens in a day. It's been happening. The weather, we see those hurricanes, they're pretty intense. And extreme behavior, and so it's been triggering events, and it's coming to the actual aspect, but it will continue on for about 6 months in different ways as it gets aspected. That point gets aspected by other planets. So yeah, it's an intense time, but if you've been doing your spiritual work, remaining centered and positive, sharing joy, and just dealing with whatever challenges you have head on without putting too much fear into them, then you'll find you'll handle this whole situation and all these eclipses, there's a series of them, much better, and gaining more knowledge and helping others to overcome their challenges. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing to these videos on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. I welcome comments, and please stay tuned for the weekly tarot readings on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and also my daily tarot posts on Instagram. Now, try to stay centered this week. There's a lot of, like I said, very intense activity, a lot of secrets coming out that may be within your family, maybe with friends, maybe in the collective. So just try not to have too much judgment around it. Remember, you're here to experience life through a physical body, but the awareness is still there. And so you always have to keep working to connect with that awareness every day through meditation, through spiritual activities, and rest and relaxation. Remember to take care of yourself and others and have a fantastic week. I'll see you next time.